Hello! It's been a while. I haven't been on YouTube very much recently because my applications for grad school were due just a couple days ago, actually, most of them. I still have a few more to finish, but they're for the most part done, so I'm hoping to get back into YouTube at this point because I miss it. It's been so long since I talked about books. It's been so long since I've read books, honestly. This wrap-up is going to be very, very short, and my streak of DNFs has not stopped. So the first book I read was Off to Be a Wizard by Scott Meyer. This made an appearance in my video about book series that I want to read that I haven't heard very much about, and I probably haven't heard a lot about it because it wasn't very... I hesitate to say it wasn't good because I think the concept is really cool and it can work for people. My dad read it and really enjoyed it. It's about a guy who ends up finding out that reality is just a computer simulation and he can hack it to basically perform magic or do anything he wants. And he very quickly gets himself in trouble, as you do when you have ultimate control over reality. And he ends up having to run away to medieval England to try and pose as a wizard in order to escape the authorities in his own time. However, when he gets there, things don't quite go so smoothly and the story really picks up from there. I love a lot of the concepts about this. I love anything to do with computers and hacking, and magic thrown in as like a computer hack is so interesting to me because I'm an absolute nerd. But I just didn't really connect with the story. The plot twists were very, very predictable and the characters were kind of bland. The humor that was supposed to be in here never really lined up with me, so I had a really hard time connecting to the characters or what was happening in the story. I think it could have used some tighter editing in terms of the plot progression and pacing. It felt like nothing was really happening for a lot of the book, and I also think it needed some work with character development, so I wasn't really enjoying myself reading this. I was just kind of forcing myself through it, so I decided to put it down at 45%. It just wasn't impressing me, and I have so many books on my TBR that are going to be more worth my time than this one, which is so disappointing because I had it in that video of books that I was really excited to read, and I just didn't end up liking it. The concept is so amazing, but the execution was not for me. The next book I read ended up being a huge surprise for me because I picked up 6 Wakes by Mur Lafferty. And this is a book that's completely out of my comfort zone. It's a sci-fi murder mystery, and literally none of those words are my genre or my thing at all. So I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. I was completely sucked into this book. I ended up staying up really, really late one night and I finished this book in 2 sittings, which I haven't done in the longest time. I don't know the last book that I did that with. Basically, there's a crew of clones running a spaceship, and they wake up in their new bodies surrounded by the gruesome murders of their past bodies, and no one has any memory of the past 20 or so years. So you're following them as they try and figure out what happened in the last 20 years, who murdered them. If they're still on the ship, they're most likely still on the ship because they're out in the middle of space. This book is so intense and there are so many twists and turns that I was guessing the whole time and I couldn't put it down. I needed to figure out what happened. So basically the whole book, you're finding new connections and piecing together little clues, and everything is so intricate and interwoven and so thoroughly entertaining. Some parts were definitely more developed than others. There were some bits that were a little bit glossed over and they didn't quite make sense, so that prevented it from being a perfect book, but it was so entertaining and I haven't been that sucked into a story in so long and it felt so good. How many times can I say so? I'm very enthusiastic about this book apparently, which I never thought I would say for a sci-fi. So, God. I would highly recommend this book, even if it's not your usual thing. It's definitely not my usual thing, but I'm about to say so again. God. I had so much fun. I had a great time reading this book. Next up, my friend actually gifted me A Strange Planet by Nathan W. Pyle, and I had never seen these comics before. It's a collection of comics following these aliens as they kind of explore humanity and comment on it, and it's really funny and accurate. Apparently they're all over Facebook, but I don't go on Facebook anymore, so I'd never seen them before, so this was a very pleasant surprise. It's a really simple artistic design, but I love this color palette with all the like purples and blues and pinks. I think it's so cute. If you haven't seen any of these before, you can just quickly Google them. They're all online, and I thought this was just a really cute little collection. It definitely gave me a nice break in between my application process, so I would write a bit of my essay, pick this up, read a few of these pages, and then go back to my essay, and it gave me a very nice little distraction every so often from the stress of my applications. While I do have comics that I enjoy a little bit more than this, I think that it does exactly what it sets out to do, and it was very entertaining and I enjoyed my time with it. And then the last book that I tried to read is Press Start to Play by a lot of different authors, but it's edited by Daniel H. Wilson and John Joseph Adams. This is a collection of sci-fi short stories relating to video games. I don't play many video games, but I am absolutely fascinated by the history of video games and its sort of influence on culture and everything. That's a whole nother thing. So anyway, that is why I picked up this anthology that I just saw when I was perusing my library. I did not like any of the short stories that I read in here. I did DNF it at 40%, and that ended up being 10 short stories that I gave a try because it's a short story collection, so like even if you don't like the first one, you might still like the next ones. But after 10 of them not working for me, I figured that it's just not going to work for me. I didn't connect to any of these. I didn't care about any of these. I don't know what it is, but I didn't enjoy them at all. There are some really big names in here. We have Andy Weir, Shauna Maguire, Holly Black. I read both Holly Black and Shauna Maguire's. I'd never read anything from those authors previously though. I just hear a lot about them on BookTube because they are very well beloved. Which one was the one that I liked? Okay, Holly Black is the one that I thought was better than the rest. What was Shauna Maguire's? Wait a minute. I need to refresh myself even though I just read this like not that long ago. Oh yeah, no. I liked Holly Black's better. But even then it wasn't like a favorite. So I just decided to give up on this because, again, I have so many books on my TBR that I need to get to and that would bring me more joy than this book is bringing me. So I DNF'd it and I will not be going back to it. I don't know what it is about these like computer game books that are just like not working for me right now. If you have any recommendations for better books that include computers or hacking or video games, not Ready Player One because I really didn't like that either. I need some better fiction relating to video games and computers and anything because I'm a nerd and I want to read them because it's interesting. That's why you pick up any book, right? Anyway, those are all of the books that I ended up reading in November. Again, not very much because I spent the last 2 weeks working 11-hour shifts at work and then coming home and working on my applications for another like 6 hours. So that was a very unpleasant time. But now that that's over, I should hopefully have a little bit more time to go back to reading and to go back to YouTube. Though the holidays are coming up, so it's going to get a little bit busy for just life. And in addition, it's like the biggest time for YouTube content creation in December. I won't be doing daily Vlogmas videos, but I decided yesterday that I want to try and do a version of Vlogmas where I do weekly vlogs for every week in December. We've never done a weekly vlog before, so we'll see how that goes. And I will be traveling from the 20th to the 5th of January, so I don't know how that's gonna go. We'll find out together. I'm gonna give it a try because I love Vlogmas and I love watching Vlogmas, so why not try and make it myself? Vlogs are some of my favorite content to create. Anyway, that was pretty rambly. I haven't talked to you in forever. I feel like I get an excuse. I have some exciting end of the year videos coming up, so look out for those in the next couple weeks. And I will hopefully be reading more in December and hopefully be reading better books in December because I am so sick of this streak of DNFing and just not pleasant books. It needs to end. Wish me luck. give me recommendations. I would welcome them, even if I might not, most likely won't be able to read them before the end of the year. Tell me all the books anyway, because I always need more books to add to my TBR, apparently, even though there are so many that I haven't gotten to. I'm spiraling. Okay, bye. I can't tell if I'm in focus or not. Considering my last video with all of its focusing issues. Ugh.